I'm ready, baby.
Okay, that's great. Well, thank you so much for joining me here at Rock Regions. Like, we're super excited to talk about your upcoming new side project.
Well, thank you.
I know we're here to see Skillet today.
Woo!
But
Busy.
yeah. How are you keeping it all straight?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's crazy time. It's an exciting time. We actually did 3 records all at once. Our drummer Jen has a side project that we only just released this year called Ledger. We worked on Ledger, the new Skillet album, and Fight the Fury all at the same time because I wasn't sure what was going to come out when, and we were kind of like waiting for the right time. So when we released that Ledger project, it kind of pushed Skillet back a little bit.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, I want to release this Fight the Fury project. I've been writing it for about 2 years, and I had it recorded about a year ago is when I finished recording it.
Was it hard to sit on it for that long and go, oh my God, I just want to get this
I was
stuff
like,
out
I
here?
don't know if anybody's ever going to hear these songs. It was kind of like that because you don't want to release it right on top of Skillet, and one would, or they cannibalize each other, or nobody ever hears of Fight the Fury. So it was hard to sit on it because I was having so much fun doing it, and I was thinking, I think people would like this. This is cool. So it's all working out.
Well, I mean, I know Skillet has some of their heavier elements, but this project is going to be a lot heavier than that. Is that what I'm gathering from it? Like,
That, it's funny because, it's all subjective, I was amazed to hear, one of my friends from Korn, he's like, this is really heavy. And then I've heard other people like, this isn't any heavier than Skillet. And I'm like, I think it's quite a bit. But it might just be that it's, like you said, Skillet does some heavy stuff. It's just that with Skillet, you have a lot of other elements to conceive with. So we have a lot of pop in our songwriting, a lot of electronic elements in Skillet that I would call very modern and even some urban on the electronic side. So when you put all those things together, and of course Jen sings sometimes, that brings a little bit more of a dynamic, and this is really less dynamic. It's more just the metal side, and the scream, there's a bit more screaming in it.
is it therapeutic for you to
Yeah.
get that out?
It's like, you didn't want me screaming on the last record, watch this. No, it is a little like that. And for me, it's really fun because I don't have to, one of the songs has 3 guitar solos in it, Like when I was growing up, that was awesome. The more solos, the better, like Scorpions.
Yeah.
Scorpions would start with a solo, and then there's one in between the chorus and the second verse, and then you have your big solo, and then you have one at the end. The more merrier, and that's not as accepted these days. So being able to go, man, I think I want a harmony guitar solo here, and not have anybody say no is a good feeling.
It's got to give you freedom. Without that pressure, but you have to. I mean, I don't think Skillet's ever fit in a box. So, I don't want to say that because I think you guys really break free of that a bit, which is what I love about you guys. Because it's not like, you're one genre or the other. You can play any type of festival. So, do you feel this project will kind of follow in that vein too? Because I think that it's good to experiment. It's got to be healthy for you guys.
Yeah, I think so. I think it obviously isn't as broad as Skillet, and so it's going to be more niche. But I think within that, it suits a particular format a bit better, and it's a little angrier. And some of our Skillet fans have been kind of like, "This is too dark."
Yeah, I was going to say, what are the Panheads saying that? I love that there's a group name for
Yeah, the Panheads. I know.
Yeah.
I hope that they dig it.
Yeah.
But there certainly is a group that's like, this is a little too much because it is aggressive and it's a little angry.
That's great. So, when is the release date?
3 weeks from now, October 26th. Yeah, we've of course released one song. It's on YouTube, and we have a video for it that we've made that will be coming out soon. And then, October 26th.
Oh my gosh, that's
5 songs.
So excited,
5 songs.
though.
Thank you.
Do you think there's more pressure now though for bands to have to stay on the road? That the fans, as soon as you drop something, they're hungry for something else, immediately.
Yeah. Because even if they haven't seen you live, they may have seen you perform live on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. People come to the show and they film it. So people kind of feel like they've seen it live. I mean, nothing will ever take the place of a live experience, but the familiarity, that's hard to say. So there is a little bit of that, and the touring thing certainly is something you have to do, or you can't build a fan base without it.
Absolutely. So we work with musicmayhem.com. Is there going to be a favorite moment of mayhem that you can think of throughout touring that stands out in your mind?
Oh man, you know, this is probably lame, but there's a nostalgia to it. You know, we had the opportunity to play with Iron Maiden in Europe a couple summers ago, and that was like the coolest thing I've ever done. This summer we played with Iron Maiden again, but this time we were only 2 bands away from closing. So Iron Maiden closed.
That's like 6 degrees of separation.
It is. I'm like, you know what? I'm getting closer to the, and it's just so nostalgic because that's the music I grew up loving, and you know, for most people, I think you know, most people tend to love what they loved when they were 15 because it's you're becoming your own person, your own identity, and you're thinking what you're going to think for most of your life. And so the music, you know, is like episodes of your life. So you remember where you were when you heard Remember the Beast, and you know, first time I saw it, like Eddie Art, you know.
I still have my mixed CDs with my
man, making mixtapes was
report off the radio. Wait, yep,
quite awesome, wasn't
absolutely. It? So with RockRevival.com, I'm wondering if there was one era or everything throughout the history of rock that you could revive, what would it be?
Oh, probably glam metal of the '80s. I mean, I just really, oh, I loved it. You know, somebody asked me. It's because didn't we just have 25-year reunion of Nirvana's Nevermind?
Yes.
It was just about 2 years ago or sometime. And somebody asked me in an interview, they said, what is it, what did Nevermind mean to you? And I said, it meant the death of everything I loved about rock and roll.
It's all over.
I mean, I was just like, what's happening? What's happening? This doesn't sound like Skid Row. Not to say, obviously, that it's not iconic and not wonderful, but that was such a shift from what we were used to. And what I loved about 80s music, whether it was the more serious side like Metallica and Maiden, or even the hair bands, which I love, Motley Crue, I'm a huge Motley Crue fan, Skid Row and all those great bands. What I really loved about that was the musicianship. And I think that's come back around in a lot of ways. You have those bands that people go, man, you've got to go see whoever, Slipknot, you got to go see Seven Dust, because they're known as being like a band's band.
Well, these bands have albums too, where you can listen to the whole
that's
thing,
right.
and it's not like a single that's right. You know, you can listen to the whole thing start from finish, and I feel like that's so hard to find right now.
Yeah,
like,
it's a little bit of a different art.
Absolutely.
And that's probably the things that I loved about that era.
Absolutely. So I've worked with agesnerd.com as well. So
Oh, yeah.
I was wondering if there's something that you like to nerd out about that we'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
surprised to know.
Oh yeah. I've got tons.
Do we have a couple hours?
Yeah, maybe I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll show you instead of tell you, because it's easier. It's easier said than talked
We're
about.
making you like strip.
Yeah, here we go. There we go. There's a taste right there.
Oh my god.
Look at that.
Look at it.
Yeah, I got all the Avengers on here.
Oh.
Well, not all the Avengers, but
That's like a
as many as
beautiful piece, though.
it goes all the way up to here.
Oh my god.
I've got Venom up here.
Wow.
You know what? I'm gonna pull that down later. Those skinny jeans are hard to get down.
They are.
It was a lot of work, and it's not because I have big calves.
So
I've
you're
got
excited
girly
for
ones.
the Venom movie?
Yeah, I am. You know, I nerd out about lots of things. I love comics. I love Marvel comics specifically. I love Batman as well. But
Right here. Has to get out to Comic Con on one of these
oh
days.
yeah, I love that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, and I love horror films. Science fiction films are my favorite. So I nerd out. I read the books as well. So I like science fiction books and things like that. I got a lot of nerdery. Harry Potter.
That's your nerd, Brad. You're good.
I might be a little too nerd, Brad. Yeah, depending on who you ask.
I feel like hardcore nerd.
Yeah.
It's all good.
That's right.
Well, I want to thank you so much for taking a few minutes, Steve. I appreciate it. What is next for you after Rock Allegiance? Where are we going to
Oh,
see
man, I'm
Skillet,
so
touring, and all that?
Very excited about playing today. It's an amazing lineup for people who aren't here. Man, the lineup is killer today. And after Rock Allegiance, Skillet goes to Australia. We're touring Australia, and then after that, Fight the Fury. We do our very first show and very first tour we've ever done in Russia. So we're starting in Russia, so that'll be cool. And then I hope to Fight the Fury is in America next year.
Great.
So check out both the bands.
Well, thank you so much.
Sure.